tuning in. There seems to be an overwhelming amount of theories regarding the possibilities of life on Mars. Scientists truly believe that Mars once had an abundance of water, an atmosphere, and life, which was lost 3.5 billion years ago. After my discovery regarding the true origins and purposes of the Great Pyramids in Egypt, I had then learned of how the very formation of our planet Earth had occurred. From its energetic molecular level, to a life-producing planet, as well as its path into the future. Let's begin with Jupiter. Jupiter is 1/10 the size of our Sun. There seems to be no detection of a surface, so it is believed that it is simply a giant ball of various gases, formed together in a sphere. The truth is, Jupiter does have a planetary mass deep within its giant gas coating. The size of the planet within is the size of Mars. It is a rocky orb, which consists of rocks, crystals, and minerals such as gold. Its surface is a mostly wet environment, which consists of ice and liquid iron. The giant clouds of gases hold the ingredients for life. All of these galactic-sized gases will be concentrated and absorbed into the Mars-sized orb within. As the gases are mixing with the ice and liquid iron, the chemicals present will mix with the wet surface, causing it to solidify the surface, while the liquid iron sinks to the core of the planet. The Great Red Spot, which has been called a hurricane storm lasting for hundreds of years, is not a storm at all. The Great Red Spot is simply a funneling vortex effect from the gases and liquid iron, draining into the heart of the planet. Just like when you pull the plug in your sink and the water funnels into a vortex, as the water drains. This is what the red spot is, as well as the many other whirlpools, which can be observed. The estimated speed, which Jupiter spins, is approximately 1 spin every 10 hours, compared to our Earth at 24 hours. This puts the wind speeds at over 300 miles per hour on Jupiter. With the somewhat softness of the iron-soaked surface, the centrifugal force of its spin will cause some of the heavier rock particles to protrude from the sides, creating mountains, and in turn, the opposite sides of the protrusions will develop sinkholes and trenches, which will become ocean bins. Some examples of these effects can be found on our present Earth. The Mariana Trench is the longest and deepest gorge on our planet. If you look opposite side of the world to that, you will find a protrusion called the Mid-Ocean Ridge, the longest mountain chain in the world. Next we have the Grand Canyon. Studied for centuries, with the biggest question being, how could the Colorado River have carved out such a massive gorge into the surface of the Earth? I'm guessing that nobody besides myself had thought about checking the opposite side of the globe to the canyon, to see what it looks like. Would you believe that the Grand Canyon is opposite to the Mid-Indian Ridge? And from what I can see on my globe, they both run in the same direction. I tried searching the opposite to Mount Everest, and the map shows an ocean bin in the Pacific, though I could not find any information regarding that ocean bin. What this all means is that the centrifugal force of Jupiter is causing the larger, heavier rocks of ice and minerals to protrude to the outer edges of the planet, creating mountains, therefore causing a suction effect on the opposite side, creating future waterways and ocean bins. With liquid iron being much heavier than water, this had carved out a landscape of waterways in a fraction of the time it takes for natural water erosion, giving the planet an appearance like it once had water. By the time all the gigantic gas clouds are compressed into the planet within, it will be sitting right where Mars is currently located, and will take on the same appearance of a dry and frozen rock of a planet. The color of Mars is due to the iron mixed with ice particles causing rust, therefore making the planet red in color. You may now be wondering what will happen to Mars once Jupiter moves into its zone. Well, as you may have guessed, Mars will have moved into our zone by that time. By reading Frankenstar, you will learn how the liquid iron at the core was ignited into a state of molten magma. How it expanded the mass of our planet, how the ocean bins filled with water, and most importantly, how life began. This region of space, which we are currently floating in, is called the Goldilocks zone, because it is not too far from the sun, where it would remain frozen, and it is not too close, where it would fry. It is in the middle, which is just right, and also happens to be the only region of space where life may generate. Our Earth will take over the Venus zone, where the sun will begin its melting process, reclaiming everything, which we had created, back into a molten state of liquid magma. Venus will then shift into the Mercury zone, where the sun will begin to cook each half for 6 months at a time. This will create tremendous pressures within little Mercury. Remember the giant Jupiter-sized gas clouds, which were 1/10 the size of the sun, had been compressed into this rock. Once it gets close enough to the sun, it will crack out of its shell and expand many times larger than the sun. The two stars will have become a binary system, orbiting each other, while one eats away at the other. Many sun-like stars, which have been observed in the universe, almost always have a companion star orbiting it in a binary system. They believe it highly conceivable that our sun too has an undiscovered binary companion, although they have not detected one as of yet. With all of this in mind, it has occurred to me that our own sun could very well be a black hole. Its spherical shape may be due to the immense energy within. There are a few reasons why I have thought of this. Number 1. When you look at the sun, it's a blinding light, which spreads out in all directions. However, when observed through the clouds, there is no outside glow, just a solid outer ring with an internal glow only. Next, the sun has black spots, which have been determined to be cooler than that of the outer edges, therefore making scientists speculate that the sun's core is cooler than its surface. Perhaps the dark spots on the sun are simply breaks in the solar energy, revealing the black hole within. And finally, one of the most beautiful phenomenons, which thousands of people have witnessed, a solar eclipse. When the moon totally covers the sun, it blocks out the inner flares of the black hole and reveals only the outer edge, or event horizon of the star. Throughout my research and writing of the book Frankenstar, I had also figured out a timeline for all of this to have occurred. I have determined in real time, precisely how many years it takes a planet to get from the Mars zone to the Venus zone. I had also figured out how much of that time in between was needed to create and sustain life as we know it. For more information on the pyramids and their effects on Earth, read Frankenstar. Available on Amazon in both paperback and ebook formats. Follow the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to check out my other videos, which are each based upon various chapters within my book. Please share, like and subscribe for more. Cheers.